The night the outlaw rode into Black Creek, the entire town went silent. Even the piano inside the saloon stopped playing. Dust swirled through the empty street as the stranger stepped down from his horse wearing a black coat stained with blood that wasn't all his own. The sheriff reached for his revolver, gamblers held their breath, and the women watching from the balconies whispered the same terrifying name under their breath, Crow. A man hunted across the Old West. A gunslinger who never lost a duel. A ghost people claimed could kill faster than thunder itself. But what nobody in Black Creek knew was that Crow wasn't there for money, revenge, or whiskey. He had returned to bury a secret powerful enough to destroy everyone in town. Before we begin this unforgettable journey through betrayal, revenge, hidden gold, and deadly love, subscribe now and join thousands of viewers who crave powerful Western stories filled with twists you'll never see coming. Because once this story begins, there's no turning back. The wind carried the smell of smoke across Black Creek while Crow slowly walked toward the Rusted Spur Saloon. Every eye followed him. 10 years earlier, he had ridden away after a massacre left 12 men dead near the railroad tracks. The newspapers blamed him. The governor placed a massive bounty on his head. Since then, legends about him had spread across the frontier like wildfire. Some said he robbed army convoys. Others claimed he burned entire gangs alive. But Crow knew the truth was uglier than any rumor. He pushed open the saloon doors. Inside, the bartender nearly dropped a glass. At a poker table near the back sat Marshal Victor Hale, the man responsible for hunting Crow across 3 states. Hale slowly stood up, one hand resting near his revolver. "Thought you were dead," Hale muttered. Crow stared coldly. A lot of men hoped that. Tension spread through the room like poison. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Then Crow walked past Hale and ordered whiskey. The piano resumed shakily. Hale sat back down but never took his eyes off the outlaw. Upstairs, hidden behind red curtains, a woman watched Crow with trembling hands. Isabella Vale, the only woman Crow had ever loved. The woman who betrayed him 10 years earlier. Isabella had once dreamed of escaping the violence of the frontier. Back then, Black Creek was only a dusty railroad town ruled by corrupt businessmen and merciless ranch owners. Crow had been different then too. Not yet the feared outlaw he would become. He was a ranch hand with quick fists, sharp instincts, and impossible dreams. Isabella fell in love with him during a summer storm when he defended her father from drunken miners outside the church. They spent nights speaking about leaving the West forever. California, maybe New York, somewhere the sound of gunfire couldn't reach them. But fate had other plans. Isabella's father, Theodore Vale, secretly controlled illegal gold shipments moving through Black Creek. The railroad company, politicians, and even lawmen were involved. Crow discovered the operation accidentally one night after witnessing hired gunmen murder innocent workers near the canyon. When he threatened to expose them, Theodore made a terrible decision. He framed Crow for the killings. Isabella begged her father to stop, but Theodore feared losing everything. Crow barely escaped alive while the town turned against him overnight. That betrayal transformed him into the monster legends feared. Now, after 10 years, Crow had returned for something hidden beneath Black Creek itself, a fortune in stolen gold buried inside abandoned mining tunnels. But he wasn't the only one searching. Across town, a brutal gang known as the Vultures had already arrived, led by Silas Boone, a ruthless killer with silver teeth and eyes colder than winter. Boone had once ridden beside Crow years ago before greed turned them into enemies. Boone wanted the gold for himself. Worse, he possessed a document proving Theodore Vale orchestrated the massacre that ruined Crow's life. That document could destroy powerful men across the territory. As midnight approached, Boone's gang entered the saloon laughing loudly. The room immediately grew tense. Boone spotted Crow at the bar and grinned slowly. "Well damn," Boone said. "The devil finally came home." Crow didn't respond. Boone stepped closer. "Still alive after all these years. You always were hard to kill." Crow took a sip of whiskey. "You should have tried harder." Several gang members reached for their guns. Boone raised a hand, stopping them. "Easy boys. Tonight ain't the night." But everyone could feel violence coming like a storm over the desert. Upstairs, Isabella realized something horrifying. If Crow and Boone both searched for the gold, Black Creek would become a battlefield. And buried beneath all of it was another secret she had hidden for 10 years, a son named Daniel. Crow's son. The next morning Black Creek awoke to bloodshed. One of Boone's men was found hanging near the stable with a knife buried in his throat. Panic spread quickly. Boone accused Crow immediately. Crow denied nothing. Hale struggled desperately to prevent open war between the outlaw and the gang. But by sundown another body appeared. Then another. Fear poisoned the town. Businesses closed early. Families locked themselves indoors. Rumors spread that Crow had begun hunting everyone involved in the massacre from years earlier. Theodore Vale grew increasingly terrified. Now older and sickly, he hid inside his mansion guarded by hired mercenaries. He knew Crow would eventually come for him. Isabella confronted her father that evening. "Tell the truth before more people die," she pleaded. Theodore shook violently. "You don't understand what's at stake. People are already dying. If those records become public, governors, railroad executives, judges, they all fall with me." Isabella realized her father cared more about power than lives. Meanwhile, Crow secretly visited the old church outside town where he met an elderly priest named Father Marcus. Years earlier Marcus had helped Crow escape after the massacre. Now the priest revealed shocking news. Theodore Vale wasn't the mastermind behind the killings. Someone far more dangerous controlled everything from the shadows. Marshal Victor Hale. Crow refused to believe it at first. Hale had hunted him relentlessly for years. But Marcus explained Hale received payments from the railroad company to eliminate witnesses and protect illegal gold routes. Crow's framing had been part of a larger conspiracy. Before Crow could react, gunshots exploded outside the church. Boone's gang had followed him. Bullets tore through stained glass while Marcus screamed for Crow to run. Crow grabbed his revolver and returned fire with terrifying precision. Two gunmen dropped instantly. Another crashed through a wooden fence clutching his throat. Boone himself entered the church smiling like a wolf. "You always did love dramatic places," Boone laughed. Crow fired. Boone ducked behind a pillar. The church erupted into chaos. Candles shattered. Benches exploded into splinters. During the fight, Father Marcus was struck in the chest. As he died in Crow's arms, he whispered one final clue. The map. Beneath the bell tower. Crow escaped moments before the church burned to the ground. Hidden beneath the bell tower, he discovered an old map leading toward abandoned mining tunnels beneath Black Creek. The gold was real, but scribbled beside the map was another revelation. Hale's signature. Crow realized the marshal wasn't merely corrupt. He had orchestrated everything from the beginning. Back in town, Boone made his move. He kidnapped Isabella and Daniel, bringing them to the old railway station. When Crow arrived, Boone revealed the boy's identity with cruel satisfaction. "Funny thing about ghosts," Boone smirked. "Sometimes they leave children behind." Crow stared at Daniel in stunned silence. The boy had his eyes. Isabella begged Crow to save them. Boone offered a deal, half the gold in exchange for their lives. Crow pretended to agree, but Hale suddenly appeared with deputies surrounding the station. Hale announced both Boone and Crow would hang by sunrise. Gunfire erupted instantly. Deputies fell. Gang members screamed. Horses panicked. Crow fought through bullets toward Isabella and Daniel while Boone escaped during the chaos. Hale cornered Crow near the tracks. "You should have stayed gone," Hale snarled. Crow finally understood the depth of Hale's corruption. The marshal confessed everything proudly. "The massacre, the framing, the murders. Men like me built the West," Hale declared. "Not cowards begging for justice." Before Hale could shoot, Daniel grabbed a fallen revolver and fired wildly. The bullet struck Hale in the shoulder. Crow tackled the marshal onto the tracks just as an oncoming train thundered through the station. Hale disappeared beneath steel wheels in a spray of blood and sparks. But Boone escaped with the map. Crow knew the final confrontation was coming. The next day the entire town emptied as word spread that Boone and Crow were heading into the old mining tunnels. Men placed bets on who would survive. Others fled Black Creek entirely. Deep underground, Boone's gang uncovered crates of stolen gold worth millions. But greed destroyed them quickly. One man shot another over a handful of coins. A lantern fell. Explosives hidden inside the tunnels ignited. The mine began collapsing. Crow entered the chaos searching for Boone. Flames consumed wooden supports while rocks crashed from above. Boone laughed hysterically surrounded by gold. All this blood for treasure, he shouted. Worth every damn drop. Crow and Boone engaged in a brutal fistfight among collapsing tunnels. Years of hatred exploded between them. Boone accused Crow of abandoning him long ago during a failed robbery. Crow accused Boone of murdering innocent families. Punches landed like hammers. Boone eventually pulled a knife, slashing Crow across the ribs. As Boone prepared the killing blow, Isabella appeared holding a shotgun. Her hands trembled. Boone mocked her. "You don't got the nerve." But Isabella fired. The blast threw Boone backward into a collapsing shaft where he vanished beneath burning rubble and gold forever. Crow, wounded badly, escaped the collapsing mine with Isabella and Daniel moments before the entire mountain exploded in fire. Black Creek watched from a distance as flames consumed decades of corruption buried underground. The stolen gold disappeared forever beneath rock and ash. Days later the town slowly returned to